Welcome everyone to our class today where we're talking about transportation, something you do every day. So first, let's talk about either a taxi or Uber. I don't know about you, but I don't take taxis anymore. I only take Ubers, and all my friends also take Uber. So my examples will be with Uber, but you can replace it with taxi or other rideshare like Lyft or whatever you have in your local area. So you can say to your friend, your spouse, are we taking an Uber? Are we taking a taxi? And then if you want, you can include the location. If you include the location, you would use to, the preposition to, and then whatever the location, to the airport, to the mall, to the restaurant, to the park, wherever you're going. Now, notice the question is in the present continuous because you're asking about a right now. Now, it could be this afternoon, tonight, even tomorrow. Tomorrow, are we taking an Uber to the airport? Now, the article an matches with Uber. Notice the pronunciation. Is that long? Ooh, ooh, Uber, Uber, Uber. If it were taxi, you would use a taxi. An matches with the vowel sound. Now, I'll say it at a natural pace now that you understand the grammar and what it means. Are we taking an Uber to the airport? I love this. Sure, we can take an Uber to get there. Yeah, exactly. Now, if you want, what you wrote is absolutely perfect. Great job. If you want, you can also get rid of to get, and you can simply say, sure, we can take an Uber there. So there represents the location. We can take an Uber there. But if you include the location, such as airport, you would need to and then the article, the airport. We can take an Uber to the airport. We can take an Uber there. We can take an Uber to get there. Awesome job. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. What else do we have? There's no parking downtown, so let's take an Uber. So hopefully you just learn naturally. We use the verb take with transportation. Let's take an Uber. Now, here I'm just explaining the reason why, because maybe where we are is close to downtown or we have a car, so why not drive? So you can provide the reason why. There's no parking. So, no parking. Parking means parking spots. So there is no place to park. Okay, but this is how a native would say it. There's no parking. There's no parking. There is, as a contraction, there's no parking downtown. So this is to show cause and effect. So let's take an Uber. Let's take an Uber. Now, let's is our imperative. I'm using it as a suggestion. And we use let's when the subject is we. Let's take an Uber. Let's take an Uber downtown. Let's take an Uber downtown. Let's take an Uber to the mall, for example. Okay, so this is a great one. Now, instead of Uber, you could put a different public transportation or any form of transportation. So let's walk, let's bike, let's take the subway, whatever it is. Let's keep going. How about this? Have you called the Uber yet? Have you ordered the Uber yet? Okay, now previously to order, which means to reserve a taxi, you would call. You would call someone and you would say, I need a taxi, and you would provide your address. Never have you actually called Uber. It is, of course, done on the app. However, we still use the verb call, even though you are not calling anyone. You are ordering an Uber on an app. You never talk to a person, okay? But still, we still use the verb call. Can you call an Uber? Have you called an Uber? But you can also use order. Have you ordered the Uber yet? Now, notice the present perfect here. Have you ordered? Okay, this is a question form with the present perfect, and it's very common to add yet when it is the question form in the present perfect, okay? And the reason why it's in the present perfect, because even if the answer is no, it's still possible for you to call the Uber. So it's an ongoing time reference. It isn't a complete in the past time reference, which would be the past simple. Okay, Mohammed said, yes, I have already called a taxi. Excellent job using the present perfect in your answer. Well done. Well done. Great job. Okay, let's keep going. How about this? So after you call the Uber, after you order the Uber, you can say the Uber. Now notice the because it's a specific one. Here, have you called, well, the Uber, but let's take an Uber because it's any Uber. But now you can talk about a specific Uber, the one that is coming to get you. So just remember, articles are required with Uber or taxi, but the choice between a or an or the, it depends on if you want to be general or if you want to be specific. The Uber will be here in 5 minutes. Now, instead of the, you could replace it with our Uber. You can show possession. Our Uber will be here in 5 minutes. Will be here. So the future simple in, and then whatever time reference you want. Yeah. And instead of a specific time reference, like 5 minutes, you could say something more vague. The Uber will be here soon. Oh, we should get the bill, pay for the bill because the Uber will be here soon. Yeah. Hurry up. The taxi is arriving in 5 minutes. Exactly. Awesome. Great job, everyone. How about this before we move on? If you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you put yes, yes, yes in the comments so I know you're enjoying this lesson, and also like it because that's the best way you can support the channel is simply by hitting that like button. It's very easy to do, and also subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. All right. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Woohoo. Woohoo. Amazing. Great job. Thank you, everyone. Okay. And also, I have this free speaking guide for you. This is my gift to you. So I share my best tips and advice on how to speak English fluently and confidently. So you can get this for free. Just go to my website, enter your name and email, and this will be emailed to you along with a lot of other useful tips and advice. And also, if you want more support from me, if you are serious about becoming fluent, then you can join the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my training program where you'll work directly with me and get my support. So you can look in the description as well. Thank you so much, Ariel, for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Okay, everyone, let's keep going and talk about the bus, subway, or train. Okay, so the general forms of transportation here. Now, maybe you say to your friend, your spouse, you want to drive? You want to drive? It'll be way faster if we take the subway. So notice you want to drive, but with a question mark, because I'm seeing this with confusion or shock or surprise, because maybe we're going downtown and traffic is just crazy and there's no parking. Why would we drive when we can take the subway? You want to drive? So I'm saying this in a questioning way. You want to drive, even though it's a statement, but if you add the question mark and your intonation suggests it, it becomes more of a question. You want to drive? You want to drive? It'll be way faster if we take the subway. So adding way intensifies faster. Of course, you can say it'll be faster, but way faster is like saying a lot faster. It'll be way faster, way better, way slower, way easier. So you can use way to intensify it. If, because it's a hypothetical, if we take, and then you take the method of transportation, take the subway. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate your support. If we take the subway, or you could replace this, if we take the bus, the train, an Uber, a taxi, for example. So that's a great one you can use. Thank you so much, Manuel, for supporting the channel. I appreciate that. No, you can't use Hassan. That sounds like a direct translation to me. So no, you wouldn't use that. Let's keep going. You can continue on and say, the bus stop is right at the end of my street. So maybe you're trying to convince your friend or your family member to take the bus instead of drive. And you can say, the bus stop is right at the end of my street. So sometimes you use the word station instead of stop. So for train, maybe it would be the train station, the subway station, but buses generally is just on the road where there is a sign and the bus, there's people there, the bus stops, picks up the people and then continues on, and then it stops in another few blocks. So with bus, it's very common to say bus stop. So stop here is a noun. It's not the verb stop. It's a noun. The stop. The stop. So for example, when you're driving, a stop sign. So there, the bus stop is right at the end of my street. So by saying right at the end of my street, you're letting the person know that you're very close to the bus stop. So it's very easy to take the bus. Yeah, it'll be way slower if we take the car. Exactly. It'll be way slower if we take the car. Now, you can say take the car, but you can replace take the car with drive. It'll be way slower if we drive, but you absolutely can say take the car. How about this? The express trains aren't running today, so we'll need to leave earlier. The express trains, the express bus. You could use singular or plural. It just depends. Is there more than one or is there only one? If there are multiple trains and they're express, then you would use plural. If there's only one that you're interested in, well, then you could say the express train. It just depends if you want to suggest one or more than one. Now, an express train, express bus, express subway is one that doesn't stop very frequently and may also go at a faster speed. So either way, you arrive at your destination faster if you're on an express train. So that's why we need to leave earlier, because it will take longer because you're not taking an express train. And notice the verb here is run, aren't running today. So if the train is running, it means it's operational. If it isn't running, it means it isn't operational. So that's the verb there. The express trains, now because it's plural, your verb to be needs to be plural, aren't running today. So we'll need to leave earlier. You could also say, so we need to leave earlier. You can use the future simple like I did, or you could also just express it as in the present. We need to leave earlier. I'll say it at a natural pace. The express trains aren't running today, so we'll need to leave earlier. We need to hurry since the express bus isn't running today. Exactly. Very nice. I like that. The express trains aren't working today. I wouldn't use working. If I If I heard they aren't working today, I might think that there is a problem with them. So I guess, yes, you can say that. But if you want to suggest that maybe they're broken, they're being repaired, or there is some operational issue, but we use run with a schedule. So sometimes on certain days of the week, maybe Sunday, the express trains don't run because there's less people who take them. So there's no need. Okay. So you would use run to talk about a schedule. And to me, if I hear they aren't working today, just like I would say, oh, my computer isn't working, it sounds like there is a problem. And no, you wouldn't say go. The express trains aren't going today. No, that sounds like a direct translation. We use run to talk about operating on a schedule. Yeah, out of service. Exactly. So they aren't working, they're out of service. The elevator isn't working. That's because there's an issue, a problem. It's out of service. Exactly. Well done. Yeah, exactly. Like this is how you would use run. The shuttle at the airport runs every half an hour. So you're talking about a schedule, operating on a schedule. Very nicely done. Let's keep going. Oh, I missed the bus this morning and had to take an Uber. Have you ever said something like this? I missed the bus. I missed the train. I missed the subway. So just as you were getting there, oh, you see it leaving and you're not on it. So you were either you left your house late or it took you longer to get there, or maybe even the bus came a little bit earlier. I missed the bus this morning and had to take an Uber. So you had to take an Uber. So had to do something suggests an obligation. So it doesn't sound like I wanted to take an Uber because it can be expensive. It's definitely more expensive than the bus in most situations. So it sounds like it was an obligation. I missed the bus this morning and had to take an Uber. Have you ever missed the bus, the train, the subway, or what about a plane? Have you ever missed your flight? Ooh, yeah, I missed the bus. Sadly, I missed the bus again. Oh no, you need to leave earlier. Time management. So this student asked, why didn't I say, and I had to take an Uber? So when you have and, if it's the same subject, you don't have to. You can. So if you're not comfortable with omitting it because you're not sure if it's correct, well, then simply use it. But native speakers, we generally don't include information if it's optional. So adding the subject I is optional because and when you use and, it's the same subject. So it is not necessary to repeat it. Uh-oh, I missed the bus last week. Oh no. Let's keep going. Or maybe you say, the train was 15 minutes late this morning. So this morning is our time reference. You could say, yesterday, last week, on Monday, this afternoon, after work, whatever the time reference is. And then the train was, because it's in the past, okay, was 15 minutes late. So it, the train was supposed to leave at 8 a.m. and it left at 8:15 a.m., 15 minutes later. So you got to your destination potentially 15 minutes later. I always used to miss my college bus. Oh no. Let's keep going. How much does the subway cost? So maybe you're in a new city or you don't regularly take the subway or the bus or the train. So you have to ask, how much does the subway cost? So the subway is singular, third person singular. How much does it cost? The subway. The subway. How much does the subway cost? How much? So that's a great question to have. Hopefully there's some signs on buses. A lot of the buses, they have their fare, the fare. That's an alternative word for price with transportation. Fare, F-A-R-E. They have their fares listed on the window to make it very transparent in many situations. And then if you go into a station, usually there is a sign or a poster that will tell you, but you might ask someone, oh, how much does the subway cost? Just to make sure you have the amount. 290 in New York. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Well, if anyone wants to share, 150. Okay, where is that? Very nice. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea how much it costs in my city. I haven't taken the bus and we don't have a subway. And I haven't taken the bus in years. So I have no idea. How about this? You should buy a 3-day pass. You should buy a 3-day pass. It'll be way cheaper. Oh, so I'm using that way again. Way cheaper. A lot cheaper. So what is a 3-day pass? And look at the grammar here because we have a, this is our article. So articles always go with nouns. What is the noun? The noun is pass. So a pass is either an app on your phone or a physical piece of paper that allows you to use the transportation, whatever it is, bus, train, subway, for 3 days. And it's unlimited generally for those 3 days. So if you're a tourist in New York, for example, you can get a subway pass, a 3-day subway pass, and you can take the subway unlimited for 3 days. And it's way cheaper than paying every time. Now, notice the grammar of 3-day. This functions as an adjective and it describes the past. So if you see a number before a noun, well, then you would not put an S on the time reference, such as day, because it functions as an adjective. So if it comes before the noun, it's an adjective, and do not say 3 days pass. You can't say that. A 3-day pass, a 3-day pass, a 3-day pass. And there's generally a 5-day pass, a 7-day pass, for example. And of course, there's monthly passes for sure, and other forms of passes as well. You should. So should is providing a recommendation to someone else. You should buy. Should is a modal. So we have our base verb. You should buy a 3-day pass. It'll be way cheaper. Okay, so now I'll say it at a natural pace now that you understand the grammar. You should buy a 3-day pass. It'll be way cheaper. So remember that way. Okay, let's keep going. Where do we get off? So this is one you definitely need to know if you're taking a bus, a train, or a subway. Where do we get off? You should know this before you get on. So notice that phrasal verb, get off, is when you exit, and get on is when you enter. Okay? So where do we get off? You're asking what stop, because those forms of transportation, train, bus, subway, they have scheduled stops. So you want to know which stop is your stop. Where do we get off? Where do we get off? Where do we get off? Okay, so that's a must know question. I think the next one is our stop. I think the next one is our stop. So I think this shows some doubt. It isn't positive, or else you would say the next one is our stop to make it sound just more definitive. So I think you might want to confirm the next one. So one represents stop, the next one is our stop, which means we should get off at the next stop. Yeah. Are you getting off at the next stop? So notice with next you need the next stop, the next one, the. Yeah, exactly. The next one, the next one. Very nice. Now, my favorite form of transportation, I love walking. Short distances, long distances. I love walking. This is what I would do for all my transportation if I could, but of course I can't for many reasons. So here are some great sentences you can use while walking. You're so lucky you can walk to work. Do you know anyone who can walk to work? Does this apply to you? Or maybe you can walk to university or walk to church, walk to school, walk to a location that you routinely go to, walk to your parents' house, walk to your best friend's house. So if there is a routine location and you can walk. So notice we're using the verb walk, okay? You're so lucky to be lucky. Here we have the verb to be. You are. Are is the verb to be. You're so lucky you can walk to work. So can is our modal. Walk is the verb, and you use modal plus base verb. Walk to work. Walk to church. Walk to school. Walk to university. Walk to your mom's house. Walk to the grocery store, walk to the mall, whatever it is. Okay. I used to walk to my job. How nice. I walk daily to school. How nice of you. Unless it's freezing cold or pouring rain or boiling hot. There are many times when maybe you don't want to walk. I don't walk to work because my job is at home. Am I lucky? Exactly. I don't know. Do you like working from home? So only you can answer that. I used to be this lucky. It took me 15 minutes to walk to my office. That is so lucky. That's a very short walk. For me, 15 minutes is not far. Wow. I always walk to the park. How lucky. So if someone says something like that to you, you can reply back and say, how lucky, how lucky, how lucky. So that's short for how lucky it is that you can walk to the park, or how lucky you are that you can walk to the park. But instead of saying all that, a native speaker commonly just says, how lucky, how lucky. So you can add that one to your vocabulary as well. I walk to work every day. How lucky. Nice. I walk every day to my work. Very nice. Okay, that's great. We have a lot of walkers. A walker is a person who walks. Are you sure it's walkable? Are you sure it's walkable? So maybe you're telling your friend that, oh, let's walk to the movie theater, or let's walk to the mall, let's walk to the park, let's walk downtown. And then your friend says, are you sure it's walkable? So walkable means able to walk. So if something's walkable, usually it's because it isn't far. So the distance is reasonable to walk there. Okay. You're not going to be super tired, or it's not going to take you a super long time to get there. Are you sure it's walkable? Are you sure it's walkable? So you can use this as a question if someone suggests walking to a place that in your mind, it sounds like it's really far. So you might want to get confirmation. Yeah, you can hello all the way to Ghana, and you can absolutely just say, is that walkable? And that being is the museum, is the mall, the movie theater, the restaurant. Is that walkable? Is that walkable? Or maybe you say, we don't need to drive. It's only a 20-minute walk. So here, notice walk is what? What type of word is it in English grammar? It's a noun. It has to be because we have this article, and articles are used with nouns, not with verbs. So I'll walk. And remember, I explained if you see a time reference before a noun, it functions as an adjective. So it describes the walk. It's only a 20-minute walk. We don't need to drive, or we don't need to take an Uber. We don't need to take the bus. It's only a 20-minute walk. So if you use only, you're making it sound like it's not a lot. It's only a 20-minute walk. Exactly. Article plus noun. And if you have an adjective, it's article plus adjective plus noun. A lot of students forget the article when they have an adjective. Adjectives do not replace articles. Article plus adjective plus noun. For me, 15-minute walk is not far. Yes. Me neither. Me neither. So if you want to agree, you would say me neither. Me neither. Me neither. Let's keep going. We should take an Uber. I don't want to risk getting caught in the rain. Okay, so we should take an Uber. You already know that. Should plus base verb. We use take with transportation. You need an article with Uber. And because it's a vowel sound, you need an. We should take an Uber. I don't want to risk getting caught in the rain. Okay, so you could simply say, I don't want to get caught in the rain. I included the word risk, which is a verb, because it sounds like it's not guaranteed. It's just a possibility. So without it, if I say I don't want to get caught in the rain, it sounds like it's more definitive that it will rain. But if you use the word risk, it sounds like it's just a possibility. But even though it's a possibility, I don't want to take that chance. Okay. I don't want to risk. So want to naturally in spoken English will become wanna. I don't want to risk. Now, risk is a gerund verb, which means the verb that follows is in the gerund. I don't want to risk getting caught in the rain. So here, to get caught in the rain. This means that you're walking and it starts raining. You don't have an umbrella, or you do have an umbrella, but it's a downpour. Even with an umbrella, you're still going to get wet. So it's just saying, I don't want to be outside when it rains. I don't want to get caught in the rain. So it's just an expression to get caught in the rain. Let's keep going. We definitely got our steps in today. Oh, what does this mean? Anyone know? Anyone know? Today is not walkable at my place because of, so you wouldn't use big to modify rain. You would say heavy because of heavy rain. Heavy rain because of heavy rain. Okay. So we definitely got our steps in today. Oh, awesome. Really? Remember, you always have to think about context. The context is walking. So what does this mean in terms of walking? If I said to you, we definitely got our steps in today. We walked a lot. We walked enough. Yes, exactly. Because nowadays, a lot of people wear these watches, or of course, you have on your phone a tracker, a fitness tracker that tells you how many steps you took today or whatever day it is. And there's a recommendation. I think you're supposed to get 10,000 steps per day. So if you walked a lot, it's like saying we walked the recommended amount today. Exactly. I walk 10,000 steps every day. That's amazing. Great job. Yes, my smartwatch counts my steps. Exactly. Exactly. Walked 10,000 steps. Oh, nice. That's amazing. Awesome. Yeah. We are physically active a lot today. Exactly. So, this is something that my husband and I, we always, after a day of walking, we always look at our steps and see how much we walked. And we always try to guess. Oh, I think we did 13,000. Oh, maybe 11,000. But either way, when we see it, we'll say something. Oh, we definitely got our steps in today. It means we walked more than the recommended amount. So it's a very natural thing to say. But you can only use this with walking. Okay. We definitely got our steps in today. Let's move on to driving. Is this something that you enjoy doing? I do not like driving. That is why I prefer walking or other forms of transportation. But of course, there are many times when you need to drive. So let's review some sentences you can use. This afternoon, we went for a scenic drive in the mountains. This is when I enjoy driving, when it's scenic, scenic. So here, notice the grammar. We went for a drive. So to go, this is our verb, for, and then drive is a noun, a drive. A drive. Scenic is the adjective that describes the drive. So if it's scenic, it means you saw many beautiful things. You probably drove quite slowly, or you probably weren't in a hurry. Maybe you even stopped and took some photos. But the word scenic means whatever you were looking at was very beautiful. This afternoon, we went for a scenic drive in the mountains. In the mountains. Woohoo, someone else who doesn't like driving. And someone who does like driving. I prefer driving to walking. I think that's probably most people. Oh, I don't know how to drive. Does this describe you? Okay. Let's keep going. Yes, scenic means picturesque. You could absolutely say, this afternoon we went for a picturesque drive in the mountains. So, scenic, picturesque, picturesque, picturesque. Very nice. Oh, yeah. I would like to do that too. To rent a luxury sports car. That would be really cool. I don't even think that option exists in my city, but I'm sure there are many places you can. That would be cool. I would like to do that as well. Okay. Well, yes, one day you'll learn how to drive. Something to look forward to. Let's keep going. I just need to get gas on our way out. I hear a lot of interesting ways that students try to communicate this, but it's native speakers, we just very simply say, get gas. Get gas. I need to get gas on our way out. So on our way out just means we're leaving the house. We're driving, we're leaving the house. Maybe we're going to the mall. Doesn't matter where we're going to work, movies, restaurant. And as we leave between the house and the destination, we need to get gas. So that's on our way out as we're leaving, basically. I just need to get gas. Just is not required. It's a word filler. It's like saying only, so it's just minimizing it. I need to get gas. Get gas. Get gas. I need to get gas on our way out. You could also say fill up. I just need to fill up on our way out. Fill up means you're going to fill the tank completely. So if you get to the gas station in North America, generally we don't have service gas stations. So we pump our own gas. So I don't need to tell anyone. I control how much gas I get. Okay, that's the norm in North America. But if you tell someone and they do the work for you, you would say to them, fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. And that means fill the tank entirely. Give me all the gas my car can take. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. No, we don't use recharge with, recharge is with an electric car because recharge is with batteries. It is not with gas though. Okay. So recharge is with an electric car. So if you have an electric car, then absolutely you would use recharge. In North America, we don't say petrol. We say gas. Always, always gas. We just say gas. Of course, you can say diesel, but in general, in North America, only like semi trucks, construction trucks take diesel. Regular cars don't take diesel in North America. Generally, just large trucks and large vehicles. Okay. So just get gas. I need to get gas. Where can I get gas? Should we get gas before we go? Get gas. Get gas. It's the easiest thing. No, just say gas. Gas, gas, gas. Bye, Manuel. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And I will see you in the new year. Bye. Thank you for being such an amazing student. Okay, just gas, everyone. Just gas. Yes, the full word is gasoline. Nobody says that in North America. You just would sound weird saying it. Gas, gas, gas. Get gas. That's all you need to say. Okay. Oh no, we took the wrong exit. This happened to me on, what day was it? Saturday, as we were going for a scenic drive in the mountains. Yep, that was true. We went for a scenic drive in the mountains. It was beautiful. And yes, we took the wrong exit. Oh no, we took the wrong exit. Exit is used with highway driving. Okay. If you're just driving on a residential street, you wouldn't say exit. You would say, we took the wrong turn. We took the wrong turn. We took the wrong turn. But on the exit, or on the highway, you use the word exit. We took the wrong exit. So in my case, there was an exit here and an exit here, but one was going north and one was going south. And I couldn't tell on the GPS which one it was. So I took the first one, and it was the wrong exit. Thankfully, it only took 5 minutes to just come back and then take the second one. Oh, but that's not fun. Why don't we just ask someone? You don't ask to someone. You just ask someone since we got lost. Yeah. Why don't we just ask someone how to get there? Why don't we just ask someone what exit we need? Yeah, missed the exit. You could absolutely say that as well. So you're driving and the GPS tells you take the exit, but you didn't get there in time. There's a lot of cars. Oh, I missed the exit. So it means you didn't take the exit, and then you see it in the rear view mirror. And then you have to take the next one and go back around. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Ah, we never miss the exit. Good for you. I always get lost when I drive, even with a GPS. So good for you. You need to teach me your tricks. Let's keep going. I like this. If you take the wrong exit, avoid dangerous maneuvers. Stay calm, don't panic, and proceed to the next exit. That's true. I agree with you on that one. Well said. Yeah, hello. We took the wrong exit and got lost. To get lost. Exactly. Are there tolls on this route? So, do you have tolls on your highways? So, a toll is when you get to a point on a highway, and generally highways, I don't know, are there tolls not on highways? In my experience, it's always on highways. You get to a point and you have to pay. Now, this is where you can use that word pass. Remember, we talked about a bus pass? Well, you can have a pass that generally goes on your windshield. So the window of your car is a windshield, and then you can go through the toll, and then the pass allows you to, or either the pass will just bill you directly. Either way. Okay. You have tolls on the highways. A toll is when you get to a point on the highway and you have to pay money to continue. So it's a fee that you have to pay. Yeah, exactly. It's a fee. It costs money. Yeah. Is this a toll road? You can absolutely say that. So, is this a toll road? Are there tolls? So, here, a toll is a noun. It's a place where you have to pay money in order to continue. Yeah, a place where you pay. Excellent. Well said. So, are there tolls? Toll is a noun. Are there tolls on this route? So, should we be prepared to pay money if we want to take this route? Exactly. An easy pass is like a little thing you put on your windshield, and then you can just go through the toll without paying because the pass you've already paid. All right. Okay. Fee we pay for the road. Exactly. Let's keep going. This lane is so backed up. What does that mean? Remember, we're in the context of driving. This lane is so backed up. This lane is so backed up. So if you're driving on a road and you drive in a lane, so you might talk about this highway has 4 lanes. There are 4 areas where you can drive. So there is room for 4 cars side by side. So a lane is generally marked by dotted lines. So dotted lines mark a lane. They tell you where the lane is, okay? So let's say you're driving, but this lane on the highway or a residential road, it doesn't have to be a highway, it can be a regular road. This lane all of a sudden isn't moving. But this lane beside it, the cars are just going no problem. But for some reason, this lane, all the cars are sitting there. Maybe there's an accident, Or maybe there's an exit, or maybe cars are merging on. So there's probably a reason why. Yeah. So is full of cars or is blocked. Great way of explaining it. Yeah, you can say congested. Congested means the traffic is heavy. So you can absolutely say congested. This lane is at a standstill. At a standstill means the cars are not moving. Okay? At a standstill. Well done. That's a great phrase. Awesome. Let's keep going. So maybe this is what I suggested. This lane is so backed up, the cars just are not moving. I think there's an accident up ahead. So up ahead just means at some point further on. So if we keep driving, we will see an accident up ahead, up ahead. I think there's an accident up ahead. So an accident, this is the noun form. This is when one car and then another car hits it. You would say that's an accident, an accident. Okay. I think there's an accident up ahead, and that's why the lane is backed up, backed up. So completely congested. So if that happens and this lane is backed up, you probably want to change lanes. So to change lanes is when you go from one lane to another lane, to change lanes. Let's keep going. How about this? Tell John we're stuck in traffic and we'll be 15 minutes late. Okay. So if there's an accident up ahead, the lane or the whole highway is at a standstill. Thank you to that student who shared that. Is at a standstill, which means no one is moving. Then if you're the driver, you could say to the passenger, tell John we're stuck in traffic. So to be stuck in traffic. Your verb is to be. We are, as a contraction, we're stuck. So stuck is in the third form, and then it's your verb to be that you need to conjugate. We're stuck in traffic. We're stuck in traffic and will be 15 minutes late. So here, minutes is a regular time reference. It's not an adjective, and that's why you have to add the S here. We will be 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, late. Okay. Yeah. And that's the reason why you're late. So now John at least can order a coffee or can leave his house 15 minutes later. Tell John there is a traffic jam. I like that. A traffic jam. Exactly. Another student got that as well. Traffic jam. Tell John there is a traffic jam because of the accident on the road. So you don't need the word occurred. Just get rid of that entirely. Because of something, because of the accident, and then the location on the road, because of the accident on the road. Very nicely said. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh, that's it. We will not keep going because that was the final one. Well, I think it's a good time to end. So I have, again, just remember I have this free speaking guide for you where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can get this on my website. Just go to the link in the description. It will be emailed to you. And also remember, if you want a proven process, a proven program, if you want the training, guidance, and support that you need to become fluent, you can join my program, the Finally Fluent Academy, and you'll get to work directly with me. So you can look in the description as well, or you can go to the link on the screen to learn more. Now, we have a couple minutes left, so I will take this time to wish everyone a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it, or if you don't. It is in 2 days. I'm very excited. So I hope you have a wonderful Christmas with your friends, your family. And also, a very happy new year. Although next Tuesday is December 30th, I believe. And I will be hosting a live on the 30th, and it will be a New Year's themed live. So we will discuss New Year's vocabulary as well. Merry Christmas to everyone. Yes, Merry Christmas to all of you. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. Yes, Christmas, Hidaki. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad you enjoyed the lesson. Yes, Merry Christmas. Love all the way to you in India. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All right, everyone. Woohoo. Lots and lots of Christmas wishes. Merry Christmas. All right, everyone, have a very Merry Christmas. I will see all of you before the new year. But if I do not see you before the new year, I wish you a very happy new year. And I will see you in 2026. I can't believe it. Merry Christmas, Horatio. All right, everyone. Bye. Merry Christmas.